This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Election time, Sherry, back in Nassau town. You hear my people all day, be all away. Yeah, yeah. Give me back my jacket, I'm going on straight. Election in 68. Let God answer my previous say. Election in 68. I don't want to miss that day. Election in 68. Be all the way. Election in 68.
Good morning this morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. It is Monday the 24th of November 2025 and you're on the clock with Erin, Greene. And we open the show with a song by Lionel Lotmore, Election in 68. Election in 68. It's a little sweet song, and it speaks to how important voting is and was to Bahamians at that time. Just a nice little ditty to start the show with. Now, I'm expecting guests in studio. As we await their arrival, we're going to delve through the headlines in the second hour this morning on Guardian Radio AM. With C.A. Newry, we're going to delve into the by-election. IRCA has relaxed the rules slightly, and we are now allowed to engage in some conversation, discussion around the by-election, but there are still areas that are completely and totally restricted, right? And so we're going to go through like the new rules. And then I found this kind of document. The source was Daily Bahamian Headlines. Now, I'm not sure if they created it or not, but this is where I found it, Daily Bahamian Headlines. It's called Understanding the Bahamian Voting Process. It's a nice like briefer, right, on what to expect when you go to vote. I've got the public notice by IRCA. So we're going to go through some of that in the second hour, because once we get that conversation started, I don't know if we're going to want to end it. But we can start in today's papers. A quick headline. The Nassau Guardian celebrates 181 years. The Nassau Guardian celebrates 181 years. When Charles Mosley, a former journalist for the Times in London, arrived in the Bahamas in 1837, he found a country in flux. Slavery was abolished in the Bahamas and most of the British Empire in 1834 and was followed by a years-long apprenticeship program in which enslaved people were required to work for their former enslavers. Mosley was slated to take up an appointment as editor of the Argus, which was formed in 1831. We go to page 13. In 1831, to promote the anti-emancipation views of those who were in favor of slavery. Unable to reconcile his personal beliefs with that of the Argus, Mosley refused to become the paper's editor. With the encouragement and support of others who held anti-slavery views, Mosley established the Nassau Guardian in 1844, referring to it as, quote, a journal in the proper manner, close quotes. The paper was first published on November 23rd, 1844. You got to pick up today's Guardian. That little bit of history is sitting right there for us to add to our archive. It is wonderful. Now, like I say, before we get into by-election news, there's lots more in the paper I think we should talk about. The first set of stories U.S. driver forgot road rules and head-on crash that killed two. Second story, father of one struck by two cars in fatal Robinson Road hit and run. I was on the road on Wednesday night, went to UB for a panel discussion, Two-Face, Gender Inequality in the Bahamas. It's a great event. I don't like being out on the road at night anymore because if you think it's madness on the road in the daytime, wait until you get on the road when the sun goes down. I just want to say, and I don't know, I want to, like, it needs to be said, like, sternly, but I don't want to come off as rude. But I just want to know who in the Ministry of National Security and who in the Royal Bahamas Police Force thought that ignoring traffic enforcement was like a solid and sensible strategy. I really want to know. See, because we're having this conversation, right, about, well, we're not actually having a conversation. Members of the government come out and they tell us things like how they have considered seriously the need to reduce the criteria to serve in the uniformed forces, in particular, the police force, the defense force, and the correctional services. And I would like to remark once again that this is perhaps one of the most dangerous things that we're going to embark upon. Surely you're not going to reduce the criteria required to educational criteria required to enter these forces. Surely what you're going to do is you're going to create a program where you can identify of the candidates that have not met the criteria, like of 5 BJCs, right? That if they've not met the criteria of 5 BJCs, but their character, right? And upon assessment, you have determined that they are still a suitable candidate. You have a protocol, a program, a continuing education service available to these people who want to join the force. So by the time they've finished their first year of training, they have also acquired the educational certification necessary for the job. Because essentially what you have done is you have allowed the people who don't think that getting 5 BJCs is important to tell us that they don't think that enforcing traffic controls is important. I am not attempting to diminish anybody's character or stature. I am just saying that surely you're not dropping the criteria to enter the uniformed forces from 5 BJCs to below when it's so easy to run a re-education, a continuing education program to bring those potential candidates up to standard. The people them don't think it's important to stop at stop signs or red lights anymore. The people them don't think it's important to use their turn signals. Some of them while making 55 miles per hour on the highway. Last night, Village Road, Saturday night, Village Road, Friday night, Village Road. It was a mess. What is the wisdom of parking your vehicle on a sidewalk and forcing patrons, many of which are intoxicated, to walk in the road to get to their car? And then what if it's the people who are drunk who park their car on the sidewalk? Is it now that when we have these events, we expect no road traffic policing? And see, before you all say, "My Erin, you just row, you just mash down." Oh no, I come with ideas as well. You see that big empty lot that used to be the old city market building on the corner of Wolf Road and Village Road that just been sitting there kind of empty for what, over a decade now? Wouldn't it be possible to turn that into a parking lot so that when there are large events taking place in the area, that patrons could park their car there, knowing that it will be supervised by a security team, and there are shuttles to take them to their event in the proximate area? I just want to know if you think that young people think that y'all are serious. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Miss Greene.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I really would like to thank you for these traffic segments and being the traffic czar. That's who you are, all right?
Yes, sir.
It's frightening for me. Just the other day, I was almost killed, right? You wouldn't have been hearing from me anymore. No, nobody would hear my little foul mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens was, you spoke about this intersection very often. The intersection of Marquis Street and Shirley Street, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was heading south from the bridge. So I was heading south, and the person was heading west. And there was a fool, obviously, in a Honda Fit. His mind is not fit. And, I just wanted to share with the public that when you see Sunday nights and Saturday nights, and people reluctant to go quickly when the light goes to green, especially if the corner's blindsided,
Mm-hmm.
don't blow them out of the way, because if I had responded quickly to the green light on my side, I wouldn't be here today.
Mm-hmm.
And this person came, and Erin, he was making so much speed, he would, even though I was on a right-hand drive car, and I was, this is the little buggy them, they ain't got no cushion. And so Erin, I was so frightened, I couldn't even take my little children home, and this fool ran the light boldly,
Mm-hmm.
and showed no remorse. I mean, he just kept going. I said, man, Erin, it's what I'm saying is it's in the nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to be careful on these lights, because when you see the people, especially the elderly people, I'm getting up there, I'm up there. So when you see the people around certain age, 40, 50, 60, they don't want to rush out onto the green light, man, don't blow them out the way, because you don't know what you can, especially the corner you cannot see. So I just wanted to share that, because it was frightening for me. And it really, if he hit me, Erin, I don't think I would have been here today, because he was making at least 60 miles an hour or more.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that. So be careful on these lights, Erin. And keep it up, man.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of imbecility going out there. And, the church people parking on the sidewalk and all. So there's no other. It doesn't make sense.
You see what I said? Like,
everything goes, nobody knows. I mean, what's going on? Help me. I'll listen.
Absolutely. We get into that because I don't understand why on a Sunday, on a church, let's go, we could prep the next caller, on a churching Sunday, people don't see a problem with parking on the sidewalk. I know a church where they park on the pedestrian crossing, where the elderly people got to use to cross the road in front of their own church. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin Greene.
Good morning. How you do?
And good morning to your producer, and good morning to the folks who voted in the by-election. Erin, first of all, I congratulate Nassau Guardian 180 years.
181 years.
81 years. That is powerful,
Mm-hmm.
For the state with freedom and Democrat be able to stay up that long.
Yeah.
And still be a powerful force. And they also expand to media, radio media. So that is powerful to have a newspaper. I think the Tribune older than them, eh?
Possibly.
Yeah.
What I do know is the Misery in My Heart is older than them. That's the only thing I know older than them.
Yeah. But you mentioned IRCA regulation. Are we like the United States now? We freedom to do what we want to do?
No.
There's our expression. That's
no.
not.
There's still, look here, there are still restrictions. There's still very tight restrictions. Like I said, I was waiting on this guest. We got a little time. Before this segment ends, I'm going to get into the IRCA regulations.
Right,
okay?
I know. But in the future, we need to really, really change that, because, I mean, we are free on the internet. When I called it the U.S., man, he thought what he wanted to talk.
No.
During their political time.
No, man, there needs to be oversight. You can't just say anything, and there needs to be, even if you allow people the freedom, you still need to have a system, a scope. You still need to have a standard.
You really believe that? Okay, why the U.S. don't have it?
The U.S. hasn't. They have standards.
In which way?
Listen, I'm going to get to that.
That's right. We need to talk about that in the future, because I'm a punk leader. I'm a butcher, and I only call a talk show locally, I call talk show international, including
It's you, Pumpkin Eater. It's you. Are you the person who hooked Lincoln up with all them Trump people? Is you? Text me and tell me if it's you. Let's go to the next caller. I can try get to that in the next segment, Pumpkin Eater. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin. How you doing today?
I good, thank you.
Okay. I have something to say to you. About 2 weeks ago, I just love your show because you seem to be the only person who really deals with the traffic issues. But here what I witnessed two Thursdays ago.
Yes, ma'am.
It was after 1. After 1 in the afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
I was going over the bridge to take you from Paradise Island.
So back to Nassau.
And there was a motorcycle rider. There were two tourists, a couple. They were walking on the western side of the bridge, on that side of the bridge. And there was this motorcycle came over the bridge, going in the opposite direction now. On the sidewalk, where the tourists were, they had to run off the sidewalk, right?
Mm-hmm.
To avoid being run over.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so afraid for them. Can you imagine if they had gotten it? Number one, he didn't go to the toll paying. He didn't go to the toll paying side where he should have been. Simply because sometimes when you come through there, there's the police officers are right there at the toll.
Yeah.
And so he probably don't want to have any, issues with them. His bike wasn't licensed or anything like that. Nothing was on it. But can you imagine if he had hit those people, what would have happened?
Yep.
One more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
That light on over there by the police station, over there on East Street South by the police station, I just wish the police officers would come out of that station sometime and just stand there. Because soon and very soon, I believe we're going to have a tragedy there. Those people run that light like it's nobody's business.
Listen.
And they take the shortcut from the gas station. Instead of them going around and turning around to go, there's a little island. They try to avoid that island. And so they go the opposite coming out of SO Yard. They try to force you to let them get these. Erin, I don't know what's going to happen in this country.
Ma'am.
But Shirley and Mackie Street is the light. That's a common occurrence. People run that 100 times a day.
Yep. I thank you very much. You pointing out something is the people are missing, I am not a gambling woman because Corinne Mitchell put some sense in my head. But if I were a gambling woman, I would be placing bets on the frequency and intensity of traffic infractions, violations, and incidents in proximity to police stations and other government buildings with policing authority, right? And other important buildings. The hospitals, the police stations. You sit right there and watch. The most insane movies get cut. Like Meeting Street and Nassau Street. You notice that only 1 out of 1,000 people stop at the stop sign at Meeting Street? 1 out of 1,000. I want to say good morning to the young man who was driving the taxi plated TN1505. I just want to say to you, young man, I don't care how handsome you are. If on any other occasion you find your vehicle in my lane with my vehicle, and you are rude to me, I will pick your entire vehicle up and throw it in the bush. You will find your Grammy and ask her, what type of old bear is that, Grammy? Because you're too young and you're too rude to be out here trying to kill people and destroy their lives. The hair ain't even growing properly on your face yet. And somebody give you access to a taxi and now you could do whatever you want? TN1505. Good morning, caller.
Hey, Erin, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How you do?
I'm great, man. Nice show as usual. JJ love the Bahamas. I love my baby people.
Yes, sir.
And I can tell you, Erin, as I was driving yesterday on Village Road, I don't know, between Queens College and the place, I don't know if they had a red and the cars were parked on the sidewalk and they're straight up to the island.
Jollification.
You know what I mean? And I think that, see, Erin, now, what you got to understand now, the island of Nassau, not the Province, Nassau was in plan. The horse and carriage roads. And I could identify with what a lot of people are saying. But see, First of all, we got to start off with the red and blue flags too, because they be talking all about in our squares. That's breaking law.
Yep.
You see, it's them who breaking laws,
Mm-hmm.
And these cars are all these motorbikes, these four-wheelers and stuff. I hope these things are insured, because I know some fighters who are jail, but they can't do license insured. I don't know what to happen to the place.
JJ,
yes.
Remember, okay, so let me say to the audience, The Guardian is the oldest media publication, the oldest newspaper in the Bahamas, and the second oldest in the region, right? Mm-hmm. And the only thing older than them is the misery in my heart for these people. JJ, that was jollification, right?
Yeah.
We couldn't even use the pedestrian crossing at the roundabout safely to cross the road.
Erin, another one too, right where I think the policeman can make a lot of money is on primary school on the island of Lincoln Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Boulevard, car park on all the sidewalks.
Yeah. Where the little poor children have to walk.
Yes, that's wrong. I don't know. See, like I told Dwight before, I said, Dwight, I can give the commission 6 months. But you know what? Next year I come after you, man. Right? Because I don't know what you're doing. Because all my male friends say, JJ, man, you talk about a woman commission to the police. Man, the man don't follow this woman. See, you need strong leaders, Erin.
Well,
you see, you got to start with the civil servants. You got to start with the PSS and the directors. Government park, car park, all about, man, that's wrong. My taxpayers' money.
Anywhere. They throw them anywhere. And do anything.
I'll see you later.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, got a couple of texts here. Let's get to them. Hey, Erin, I love your observation and suggestions on traffic woes in the country. Your suggestions for entry into the uniform branch is brilliant. God help us if we get less. That's what I'm saying. Not only that, you diminish the capacity of the officers. You tell them you don't expect them to be able to be any better than who they are right now. That's madness. You limiting the whole country in that way. If they're suitable candidates, after an assessment, put them in a continuing education program. And what you may find is, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to face pressure to extend the continuing education program beyond BJCs to BGCSEs and to associate degrees. And what a wonderful problem that is to have. Okay. Last text, and then we're going to wait until after the break. This is a long text. You guys stay tuned to On the Clock with Erin Greene. We'll be right back.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
At Cleveland Clinic, you set your course, not cancer. So when your journey takes an unexpected turn, you seek out the experts who've conquered it before, and you forge new paths to help fight cancers. For every route to a cure, for every care in the world. See how we're innovating cancer care at Cleveland Clinic today.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you. Must wanna get nasty. Go ahead, get at me.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
New York is red, honey, but I'm feeling bad. It's election time, Sherry, back in Nassau town. You hear my people all day.
Welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. You're on the clock. We're back at it. But listen, I'm going to need you to stay tuned to Guardian Radio after the 6 p.m. news for live coverage of the Golden Isles by-election. All your weekday Guardian Radio hosts will be here as the results come in and until a winner is declared. Tonight on Guardian Radio after the 6 p.m. news. See, Straw, no, I stay with my tent in my car anytime I get a chance to go off in the bush and do some camping. So if I get a camp out in Guardian Radio studio tonight, I got my tent and I got my snacks. And I would like to say thank you to the listener who sent me the 3 pairs on Friday. Oh, my goodness. I planting them seeds. Thank you so much. I got to give you a call. I want to say thank you again. So wonderful. You know how many different variety of pears we have in the country and the different flavors? I mean, there's just so much to celebrate. Anyway, we see you tonight at 6 p.m. But I know you ain't going nowhere because we stay tuned to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM all day. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin. It's Nico. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing?
Good. Well done with the road traffic, and especially your commentary on the grades that are required for the police force. I've been saying this for years, and BJCs are really for 12 and 13-year-old kids when they sit that. Mm-hmm. Now, being in, I remember it was the GCEs and all that when you graduated. I graduated high school at 15. I have been saying for years, the police force or the armed forces here are not commensurate to the level of those around the world. In the United States, it's 3 years to become a police officer in the academy, and you have to have a college degree, level courses. Here, we're worried about 3 or 4 BJCs, and it's absolutely necessary. The police force can only be as good as the individuals are. And to worry about BJCs when you're actually dealing with the law, which is highly complex, it has to be much higher than a simple, 4 BJCs, which one could do with your eyes closed and your hand behind your back. Mm-hmm. So the standard is incredibly low, which shows the standard that we strive for. And that has to change. If these individuals are continually educated all the way up to college-level courses, wonderful. We have an educated populace. Mm-hmm. And this is the main thing. The education in our country is low. The level is low, and it has to be changed.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And so you can't have police officers running around with a gun with less than 3 BJCs? I don't think so.
There you go. Thank you very much. An important point. You telling me that you're going to assign weapons to people who are meeting the minimum standard without offering the opportunity for continuing education. See, if these are the people who are going to protect us, we can't give them the opportunity of continuing education. Because what you're doing is you're not only reinforcing the integrity of your force, pun intended, but you are providing these people with a pathway, right? So that post-police work, post-uniform work, post-retirement, that they have built skill sets that they can use to support themselves in the world. We don't appreciate them enough to give them that? There's more to talk about. Boy, good morning, caller.
A colleague, this is Stark, voice along with you, Erin.
Yes, sir, blessings.
Much the same to you, thank you. Erin, I agree with the gentleman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, what happened is, some of those police doesn't even know how to speak to people in the proper manner before getting them angry, and you want to tell them something.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, Bremen, hold on. Let's stop. Let's stick a pin right there. You were right. You were absolutely right. I had an encounter with a young man. The young man talked to me in a manner I still can't believe it, Bremen. But they are stressed out. You know why they're stressed out? Because they're ill-prepared for the job. They lack confidence.
Right.
Because, go on.
Just last week I had to tell one man, I told him he should take off the uniform because that's not policing.
Yeah.
The way he had spoken to me, and they don't want to. Not only that, when it comes to Fridays evening, and Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays,
mm-hmm.
they just don't care to come out to check things out. Sometimes they doesn't. Okay,
Man.
So they got to do better than that, because this country's not going to get ahead. Because they are, I don't want to say they are ignorant, but they're just unprepared to be police.
Yeah, they're ill-prepared, and they're being put on the roads.
Yeah.
They're being put into public service, ill-prepared for the job. And at least they have enough sense, like something within them knows that they're not sufficiently prepared. But that exposes itself as a brutishness and a bullishness, right?
Not only
inappropriate.
That,
yes, sir.
Not only that, because they have that attitude, being not prepared,
mm-hmm.
they can just destroy people's life, children's life.
Yeah.
And that is wrong. Something needs to be done. For years I've been telling them, on the radio, I'm telling them to get somebody out of the United States to come and train these people,
mm-hmm.
because they're not ready, and they're destroying people's life. They're destroying young man's life, and it doesn't have to be
that way.
No.
Thank you, Bremen.
So that gentleman is so right. And I wish something they do something about the situation, because it's wrong.
Listen, I got you, Bremen. The first thing we need to do is to take care of our police. The first thing we need to do is to take care of them. See, they put on a uniform and they become a different person. There's nobody helping them really walk through what it means to be a different person. And I can tell you how I know. Now, let's stick a pin there. Before I tell you how I know, let me just say this. For as much bad is going on, there's good going on. Right? We are absolutely true in what we're saying in this critique, but we must also acknowledge that there's plenty good going on. Okay, so we've done that. The police officers need proper psychosocial services. They need proper training. Not just how to be hard and how to do push-ups, but what empathy looks like and what is required for a police officer to show up on the job every day, prepared not just, to police and to police. We are not taking care of our police officers, and that has resulted in a quagmire. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Hey, morning, Miss Greene. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, Rita. Hey, I have a question for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think that was Saturday or Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably Friday night when the convention was going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose going to put in my numbers, right? But I forget. So I said, man, let me go write numbers, go put in my numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I drive down the road, I see the F&M, the thing probably just over.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a little scanty, right?
Yeah.
Then you drive down a little further, it's the PLP on. It's probably just over too, so it's scanty, right?
Yeah.
I head into the numbers. I pass in there. How in the world Lincoln pull off the big road? You think that's the family members Out there?
He don't tell you all he get Trump people. He's talk to Trump people.
Miss Greene, I ain't tell you a lie, right?
Yeah.
You know, I ain't got nothing against Lincoln, right? But he ain't the best behavioral person in the universe.
Listen,
so I ain't voting for him.
I can't hear nothing after the boy say Trump meet with Trump people, like Trump people find him and suggest that Trump is taking pages out of his book. I can't hear nothing after that.
But Ms. Greene.
Yes, sir.
How in the world he pulled off the big crowd?
I can tell you why, because
I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
This ain't no promotion film. You could tell Sweet Jesus this ain't no promotion film.
Yeah, it's okay.
It was a crowd.
I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna go to another call. As we prepare that caller, we coming to you right now. Here's a text. Hey, Erin, yeah, man, this traffic issue, this is crazy, as it's amazing that you're talking about this morning. I was just talking about this with a friend a few minutes ago. It seems the police force only assists with funeral events, wedding contracts, with the day-to-day street monitoring of traffic does not exist. We need help. The police force is not enforcing small crimes such as traffic infractions, only looking for ticket fines for no license. We need help. So 2 quick points. Are the police performing Ministry of Transport duties or Royal Bahamas Police Force road traffic duties? That's the first one. And the second one is, are we not going to talk about the Police Staff Association? So we're just not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about how if I want a court-issued summons, a document issued by the court to be delivered, I have to pay a police officer? We ain't going to talk about that. Because let it happen to me that I have to deliver a summons to someone, and it can't get delivered unless a police officer is paid to do it, and there's a police staff association organizing. Y'all can't be serious. Good morning, caller.
You have me on now?
Yes, sir.
Hey, good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
I'm listening to the show, and I vex.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that brother who come on talking about the police them need more training and stuff, that's not reality.
They don't need more training?
No.
Okay.
No. Just for an example, I served on the police force for many years. I retired from the police force.
Yes, sir.
And these people who he's bigging up about all of their experiences, the police have been, including myself, on these courses and little seminars and all of those type of things, and the police have competed equally with people from Scotland Yard, FBI, and all them other places. So unless you've been there and done that, you really don't know what you're saying.
All right.
So we've come back home. I came back home with the whatever shield or whatever they have for outstanding service. And others of my colleagues have done so.
Do you all have a consultancy? Do you have a consultancy firm where you provide this training on the ground for Bahamian officers, that which you have received?
Listen, the fellas who taught me were fellas who had no school diplomas and all that stuff like that.
But what you learned from them was sufficiently valuable for you to express it here today. Have you managed a consultancy firm where you have offered your training to other officers?
Let me tell you something else. I don't talk about this as much, right? But I have trained. After having been trained, I've trained officers who've gone into other areas.
You mean outside of the force?
Outside of the force.
Okay, see, that's great, but we need to retain that institutional and experiential knowledge in the force. I'm going to tell you a story, sir. I want you to hold the line, and I want you to tell me how you feel about this. I was driving on Meeting Street. I was heading east towards Blue Hill Road. Traffic became stalled, as if there was an obstruction ahead. I quickly realized that there was a traffic exercise taking place at the intersection of Meeting Street and West Street. While I was in that stalled traffic, I observed that the reason why traffic was stalled was not because of the actual traffic exercise, but because drivers on Meeting Street were obstructing traffic at the West Street intersection by allowing multiple cars to exit to enter Meeting Street without stopping at the stop sign properly. And then I realized that they were doing this while the police officers were actually conducting a traffic exercise. So after I was sitting there and I realized that the car at the intersection let 4 cars run the stop sign in front of them, I tapped my horn. That car proceeded and continued east towards Blue Hill Road. The next car was the car immediately in front of me. When I had tapped my horn, that car had begun moving, but then they stopped. They didn't even proceed to the intersection. They stopped one whole car length back from the intersection and then proceeded to allow 4 or 5 cars to run the stop sign next to the police. Now, here's why I say the word allow. Because the vehicles, like, they would come and look, and the car would tap the horn and tell them, hurry up, come out, right while the police were conducting a traffic exercise next to them. So, after traffic having been obstructed for a significant amount of time, I began blowing my horn to draw the police's attention to the mockery of traffic offenses that were taking place right next to them. Once I gained the police officer's attention, he came over towards the sound of the horns, and me, like Corinne Mitchell, good granddaughter, put my hand up in the air to show the police officer it was me blowing my horn to get his attention. He very quickly told the car in front of him to proceed and go on their way. It turns out that the car in front of me, the car that was obstructing the traffic, had no plates. But that police officer told that car to proceed and to go about their business, and they pulled me over. And while I was asking the officer why he pulled me over, he began threatening to have me detained for unruly behavior. He still didn't tell me why he had me pulled over yet. I'm trying to explain to him that I was actually trying to get his attention so I could show him the mockery that was taking place next to him while he conducted a license and insurance traffic exercise. Right? That while he was doing business on behalf of the Ministry of Energy and Transport, the business of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Road Traffic Department was not being attended to. I want you to know, sir, that I got a ticket. I got a ticket that day for excessive use of horn. At least that's what he told me, but he actually wrote it as unnecessary use of horn. And I told him, show up, because I would like to explain to the magistrate on this date why it was very necessary for me to use my horn. When I appeared at the traffic court at 2 p.m. on the date on the ticket, I almost got locked up again because the police officer was almost suggesting that I put 2 p.m. on the ticket. See, because the magistrate building and the system had changed slightly, I thought, well, maybe it's possible that they could have traffic court at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So I showed up at 2 p.m. You know that officer never showed up? You know what else never showed up, sir? The ticket itself never showed up. The ticket itself was never logged in the system. So I am not doubting anything that you're saying. I am not diminishing anything that you're saying, but I'm begging you to gather your colleagues, retired and otherwise, to form a consultancy service so that you could ensure that all of the institutional knowledge and experiential knowledge that you gained in your service to the state and to the Bahamian people can be enjoyed and used and available to all uniformed forces. That's all.
I hear you, right, sis, but let me tell you something. That's the kind of world we live in. Jesus had 12 disciples, and one of them was a thief. You see what I'm saying? And that's Jesus. And he chose them. One was a thief, then another one was a batterer because he assaulted the fella and chopped his ears off.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying, so wherever you go, you will find issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, so that's...
You got another colleague who called this program Issues of the Day.
Yeah.
Because that tells you that there are that many. But my problem is with these persons who talk about lack of training. It ain't training. It's individual decision-making at that particular time.
I got you.
I know. And I was about to share with you. I have trained several police officers who now sit in Parliament. Some who sit in the last Parliament, they were police officers.
I hear you, sir.
And they sat there And the same thing that these people speak about, but lack of training, lack of capacity, lack of standard. You get off telling the people because you can't pass it. Some people just can't take exams.
I got you, sir.
You know?
Yeah.
And you were saying because you got to do BJC and you could sit down on your head and stuff. No. There are people there with degree, and you've seen them, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I know you've seen them, and you've been. And fellas, they will leave the police force, and they go into, like you see the other day, people complaining about them now, and they go into service for the country.
Yes, sir.
Because they have the capacity. So please, people who call in, you got your right to say what you want to say, but do not belittle the educational standards of the police force. I can tell you right now, and I brag about this kind of stuff because several people of the last graduating police squad came from my school, and my school is SAC.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right?
And I appreciate your contribution. I want you all to know. I'm trying to be fair. I let him, with personal experience, right, express that position. Here's some text before we go. Erin, I want to call out this police vehicle, a white truck, a Ranger that has an emergency every afternoon after work until he clears Milo Butler Highway, and every morning on Gladstone Road up to Aquinas, where he drops off his son, and then again until he passes Fusion. He abuses his power and turns on the siren until he clears traffic. Shame on him. Yeah, I heard that you have to verify why you use your siren. That's why you hear the horns all the time. Good morning, Miss Greene. The premise of one attaining a piece of paper to demonstrate intelligence is very shallow. No, it's a course. It's not just the piece of paper. Like you go through a course where people talk to you to see if you understand. Like, no, man, just take a look at the number of lawyers and other professionals in public office in our parliament who leave much to be desired when it comes to intelligence. Many intelligent people have never completed higher education. Just my 2 cents. Right, because some of them haven't had the opportunity. That's why you're not going to throw away police candidates because they don't meet the standard. You're going to provide opportunities for continuing education for the sake of the country, for the sake of the force, and for the sake of the individuals in their own lives. Yes, intelligence is not just about passing a test, but come on. You got to have at least 5 BJCs to be issued a gun and a car. Come on, we can't have a standard. Another text, good morning, Erin. For police to serve a summons for a senior citizen, it costs $150 in the settlement of Governor's Harbor. I got caught up in traffic on Friday afternoon at the mall. I had to go in and wait for about 2 hours, too much cars in that town. You could imagine I got to pay an officer to serve a summons in a car that ain't licensed? Because I have to have my car licensed, but the police don't have to? In the beginning, summonses used to cost $50, but somewhere in between the last 3 years, it has risen all the way to $200 to $250 What? And if the summons can't get served, the case can't go on? And you have a police staff association, but they're not organizing summonses being served at a cost that people could afford? No, man. Call ISO, sorry, I don't have the time. I got to try read one more text before I get kicked off the air. Erin, why are you asking to be written a message ticket? Pay me the money for the ticket because I got booked twice this week for driving with my phone. Send me the money. No, you're not allowed to drive with your phone. That is a ticket. It's against the law. You're not allowed. And you see the police tell you could drive with the headphones in your ear? Go ask the judge before you do that. Go ask the insurance agent and the judge before you do that. And Texas said the people park all over the sidewalks. If the police want to give out tickets, they say they got pictures. Come on, man, guys. We're just making a mockery of the very systems that we're supposed to rely on for law and order, for safety and security. Anyway, we are all out of time. I didn't even get to read from the articles. U.S. driver forgot road rules and head-on crash that killed 2. Father of one struck by 2 cars in fatal Robinson Road hit and run. Just as we go, producer, could you imagine our tourism market is primarily American. We rent cars, jet skis, 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 2-wheelers, electric skateboards, and yet we don't feel the need to ensure that there's proper road signage to remind our American tourists of where they are and what's expected of them. I don't know. You've been on the clock with Erin Greene. You guys stay tuned because Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Nuri is up next.